So anyways, the first thing we're going to do is look at some candles for our educational course, a picture of them so that we can see how they fit into CARP, which is just a series of recommendations to make your presentation just kind of pop or be more appealing to the customer or student or whoever you're presenting to or the video needs to apply to. So first off, I have a couple candles, and we have the first one, which is contrast. I have two candles. I have one that's lit and one that's dark. So the contrast is between the light and the dark. It's supposed to jump out at you. And then I have a repetition. I have two candles. So repetition is pretty straightforward. More than one item. Yeah, two candles. Different candles, but they are two candles. And then alignment. The candles are on the same plane. If you look at the bases, they line up across the bottom, so they start at the same place. They end differently, but they start at the same place. And alignment's important because it makes everything look more organized instead of chaotic. And then lastly, we have proximity. For CARP, and proximity just means things like items are grouped together so that they are considered one item instead of different items. So the candles are pretty much grouped together, a line. They're meant to be together as one. And that's it for my CARP. And then my next photo is for Gestalt theory. And for that one, I picked 3 gourds that my son grew this summer. And the ones I picked for that is similarity. So all 3 gourds are green, or a type of green, and they're gourds. So they're pretty much the same. They're all different shapes, but they're similar in shape and size and color. And the similarity is supposed to make things seem familiar. For the second one that it applies to on the second photo for Gestalt theory is proximity. These gourds, they're all close to one another, so they're placed close together for proximity. And proximity, it makes them just easier to group and to recognize as one unit instead of multiple. So group association is what it says. And then finally, my last photo for Gestalt theory is a snake in a jar. Yeah, figure that one out, right? So the snake in the jar is going to do the continuation. Again, goes through the whole thing. If you look at the picture, you got the glass jar. It just pretty much covers the whole screen and kind of curves and pulls you across. And then through that jar, there's this a toy snake that runs up and down through there, and it just makes sure you want to trace one side to other. But not only that, the words at the paper, and there's a paper with words on it below the jar and snake, and they are also a continuation because it makes you pull your eye all the way across the paper. And that's pretty much it for my 3 papers, kind of for my discussion. I mean, some of this stuff is kind of straightforward. I mean, software like PowerPoint or Google Docs already kind of implies that this is what you need. I can see if you're making something from scratch, but typically templates already have all this stuff on there for you. So I guess it's okay. It'd be something to teach your students. But I mean, if you're pretty common sense too.